Founder and leader of the Movement for Change, Mr. Alan Kwadwo says he will make the Eastern region a hub for scientific research and technology innovation in the sub-region when he is given the opportunity to become president of Ghana. He says the initiative forms part of a broader agenda to attract some of the best science and technology resources into the country and beyond. Maxwell Kodeko has more.
Addressing the media in Koforidua after his market tour in the Eastern region, Mr. Chiramatin indicated that at least each region across the country would be developed to contribute significantly to national development. He says the Eastern region will capitalize on its natural resources and proximity to Greater Accra and Greater Kumasi to harness scientific research and technology.
Because of the proximity of the Eastern region to both Greater Accra and to the Ashanti region, my vision for this region is to build the region as the center of excellence for scientific research and technological innovation. And I think that if we focus on that in the future, we'll be able to attract some of the best science and research capacities and resources.
Mr. Chiramatin is also promising to establish the Traders Bank that will give soft loans to support traders and boost their living conditions.
The program I have a dear multiple sorry, as one can see, a proport to say, yeah, it's just saying a pattern. Yeah, it's just saying a pattern. I say it's a new modern market. Yeah, the market. A new modern market. You're talking to a new Sahamo, and it's Sika Motivated. And if you are the animal center mobile, it's a woman for Pierre Bank to be anywhere. President, not one we have to Traders Bank. I have 24 banker. I just have one bank. It is Chicago. And you have to have a view.
Anybody says, way back, and me into a no back, say, be our big na say, oh, put me up boy and dear, and so boy.
Reports by Maxwell Kodeko.
Well, I've been joined in the studio by Courage Nobi, who is Deputy Communications Director for the Movement for Change. Great to have you in the studio. How has your campaign been so far?
So far, so good.
How many regions so far?
So far, we've done 4 regions. The butterfly flew from the Greater Accra region, went to the Central region, where apart from the modern market infrastructure, the Honorable Alan Chiramatin promised that under his presidency, the Central region will become the center for the West Africa financial hub. What it means is that he's going to invest there and use the power of policy to attract financial institutions there, just so that he can create jobs in the local economy for people, and that in order that the local economy will begin to thrive. It is strategically positioned between 2 port cities to facilitate trade within the West African sub-region. Then Butterfly flew from there to the Volta region, where he says, in addition to tourism and all that the Volta region is known for, it will be the center for skills development, again targeting the West African sub-region. You know, by virtue of policy and what he did as minister, we have about 12 automobile companies assembling vehicles in Ghana. They will need skilled labor to be able to employ them to be competitive. They've made this place their West African headquarters. So we must begin to look sub-regional and not just internally. And that's why yesterday in Eastern region, he said, your place can become the center for research and scientific innovation, you know, to aid industry. So he's the man who has a plan. He has a great transformational plan, and in that plan, he thinks that every region deserves a focal development so that Ghana is not Accra and Accra is not Ghana. Ghana is beyond Accra. But for that to happen, you need a leadership that deliberately targets development across the various regions so that each region is pivotal in the development agenda of Ghana. And that is why, even on infrastructure, he says we need to be able to link every regional capital with a dual carriage road.
Tell me more about this technology and innovation hub that he wants to turn the Eastern region to. How does he intend to achieve this?
Awesome. So one of the most powerful tools that a government has is policy. If you develop the right policies, you're able to attract the right investment into space. Currently, where Ghana is right now, we are locked out of the international financial market. We are locked out of the domestic market with the kind of haircuts and that we are having. So what is available to us now is private capital. And so it will take the deliberate policy of government to attract private capital into the region, create the enabling environment in the region so that private enterprise will establish all these centers of excellence in research. For example, last year we lost the opportunity to have Tesla, the Tesla group, have its headquarters for Starlink over here in Ghana. If there were a deliberate policy that says that this is the region of focus for these kinds of innovations, definitely government would just facilitate their arrival and guide them to that particular place where there would have been an enclave developed to make sure that what they want to do thrives. That is the power of financial private capital and the power of government policy in attracting investment in order to develop a space so that it serves everybody meaningfully.
Making the Eastern region a technological hub is capital intensive. Hope you know that. Have you outsourced your funding already? Do you know where the source of funding will be coming from for this project?
So over time, what happens with many government projects is that the government goes for loan, comes, and a large part of it is actually misapplied. A large part of the corruption is because of this loan syndrome. He says that we should not be dependent on loan. The money is with private capital. Private enterprise has the money. So use policy and they will come. An example of what he did is the automobile assembly plant. Government did not spend a dime. But the right policies, we have 12 of them in here working. So they brought the money to develop and then to employ people. So private capital is the target. As long as the government is going to take money. If government will spend any money at all, it will be facilitatory to ensure that the enabling environment, the platform is created. Outside of that, a large chunk of all that will be happening will be private capital. Look at pharmaceuticals. There are huge pharmaceutical companies that with the right policy will come here to set up research centers. There are huge technological companies, huge engineering companies across the board. And that is what this is about. So his competence, backed by his solid character, incorruptible, is his famous commitment to ensure that with the right policy, we can get private capital to move money to develop this sector and to create employment for the local people and beyond.
You said it's part of a broader picture, and you started by mentioning a few. I want you to tell me more about this broader picture you're talking about.
So Alan Kyerematen presented what was the Great Transformational Plan. He says that is a plan to move Ghana from poverty to prosperity. And so in that plan, there are 6 clusters. The first one being the economic cluster, there's a governance cluster, there's a social services cluster, there is a natural resource and environment cluster, the behavioral and attitudinal change, and constitutional reforms. He believes that our constitution after 30 years requires to undergo massive reforms. And then he believes that agriculture is one of the anchors with which we can develop our economy in addition to infrastructure and a host of other things. It is in the mix of that this particular promise to particular regions. So it's all part of a broad plan of an interconnected 15-point pillar plan that he's going to use to develop this country. So the difference for him is that he's not just coming to make promises. He has a robust plan that he has developed that tackles every aspect of our national development. And that is what he's saying, that we need to strategically distribute it across the country so that investment goes spread across the country. That is how you stop brain drain. That is how you stop rural-urban migration. That is how you build prosperity at the local level so that we begin to thrive again as a country. And then we gain our place in the Committee of Nations.
So you've done 4 regions already. How many more?
I think we have about
what's
12,
your next step?
We have 12 more to go. And as you would have noticed with Alan Kyerematen and his campaign, every movement is very strategic. So in due course, he would inform the media of his next round and then we'll go there, and he'll give them the good news according to the butterfly movement.
Courage, Nobi, thank you so much. He's
Thank
the
you very much,
Deputy
Aisha.
Communications Director of the Movement for Change, whose leader is Alan Shermanting. Let's go.